Hi there, my name's Mr. Malik and I'm here today to talk to you about assessment at Rivermead School. Now this video is just around how assessment takes place and the different types of grades that we use at Rivermead. So if you look at the screen, it's a little starter, a little activity. Can you think to yourself, in what order do these grades go? So from the top left to the bottom right, how would the grades work out? What would be the lowest grade? The lowest grade in the top left, and what would be the highest grade in the top right? So I'm just going to give you a second to think about it. These are grades that are used at Rivermead, and I'll go into a bit more detail about those in a second. So if you've written them down on a piece of paper, if you've given it some thought into your head, this is what they look at. So we've got stage grades, entry level grades, and then our GCSE grades. So the whole point of our grading system is based on the mastery approach, where we don't just teach something and just assume that a learner has taken it in, but we also constantly look at the skill itself and ask the learner to demonstrate how they've learnt it. So it's not just a case of teach once and leave alone, it's teach once and then revisit to see how it's embedded in their practice. The grades that we use in the subjects are, as we went in the last slide, so S grades, that's pre-entry level. Entry level usually are key stage 3, and they are things that build up to GCSEs themselves. And then we've got the GCSEs, which are our key stage 4, 9 to 1. Within the subjects, we also have 4 sub-levels. So for every grade, so S1, we have S1 emerging, S1 developing, S1 secure, and then S1 mastery. Now, the reason we have those 4 levels is, again, it's about the mastery approach, but we also like to break it down so that no matter how small of a step a learner makes, they're always making progress, and we can always track that. So if we look at a grade, you've got an S1 grade there. Like I said, you can have emerging, you can have developing, secure, and then mastery. So you've got 4 sub levels, but then even within those sub levels, you have other levels. So emerging has 1, 2, and 3. And again, the whole point of this is just to make sure that we can capture the small amounts of progress that all of our learners make, so that no matter how small or big it is, we always can see where it is. And if we can see where they're not making progress, we can put in support, we can put in intervention, because the whole ethos of the school is we're supporting succeed at every step. So when we look at grades, I thought the best example would be to use the learner reports that just went out at the end of term 3. So for there, they had current grade, which is the grade that the child was currently working at, an aspirational grade, which is the target grade that we felt they should be achieving at the term, and then you've got the super grade. So as an example, you can see there we've got a current grade they're working at an entry level 1, secure 1, and their target was also an entry level 1, secure 1. So that means that they have achieved their termly target and they are working at their target. Now some learners might be slightly below or some might be slightly above, but it is just an indication of where we think they should be. And going forward, we'll try and incorporate different feedback that we received so far, or just using the words above, at, or below, or just using a traffic light system. And again, if you think of anything that you think should be incorporated into the report to make it just a bit more accessible, please feel free to contact us via the school office. The super grades at the end were just 1, 2, 3 with talking about our super values, and I think that was listed in the learner report itself. So again, it's a little activity for yourself. On the left, we've got a grade of S1E1. Now, do you think that is higher or lower than S1E3? So S1E1, is it higher or lower than S1E3? It is actually lower. So entry 1, 2, that's secure, that is stage 1, emerging 1, and on the right you can see it's emerging 3, so it's that 3 that's higher than the 1. So the bottom one, the second one, sorry, is S1D1. Is it higher or lower than S1E3? So is S1D1 higher than S1E3? And you can see that it is actually higher. Now, even though the last number is different, it's higher on the right. It's the grade. Developing is higher than emerging. And I know sometimes it gets a bit more difficult, and we are going to be doing a bit more workshops with parents and with with our learners as well, just so that everyone is aware of the grades that they're using in subjects that they're working towards in terms of their targets. And so the third one, higher or lower, S2 E1, is it higher or lower than S1 M3? And for this one, it is actually higher. And this one, we're looking at the grade. So it's stage two is higher than a stage one. And then the last one, both grade one, but it's developing two. Is it higher or lower than emerging three or an E3? And it's actually higher. So a developing, again, is higher than an emerging. Now, I hope this has been beneficial to you. The whole point of this kind of video was to give a bit more an explanation of the things we do now. We will be doing parent workshops. We will have, you've got parents evening where you can talk to teachers. We've got introductions for book looks where you can come and look at the books themselves and have your children talk about the goals they're working to, and you can ask teachers. But again, if there's anything you need to ask, please feel free to contact us at the school office. I hope that's been useful. And again, any feedback is most welcome. Thank you for your time.